Good evening. Tonight's recipe is macaroni and cheese. Joanne had asked me if I could do some North American comfort food recipes because she would like to know what those are. So I'll start off with a real basic mac and cheese. Now for this you're going to need a number of ingredients. Start off with the greased casserole dish. That's a 2.5 liter one. You need some milk, obviously cheese, some uncooked elbow macaroni, butter, breadcrumbs, flour, cheese grater, and your seasonings. So to start off with, you will need 2 cups of uncooked macaroni, and I'm going to try something different. I'm going to start putting the ingredients on the screen tonight. I've already got the water boiling for that, so that's going to go in shortly. You need 3 cups of shredded cheese. Now, different recipes, some of them get quite exotic and they use pecorino romano and they use Gruyere and all kinds of stuff. I'm just making a real plain macaroni and cheese. I'm using medium cheddar. I like that. You can use old. So this is a 2-pound brick of cheese. So like we did the butter math, this is cheese math, okay? So 1 pound of cheese will make 4 cups of grated cheese. Now for this I need 3 cups. So if I just score the block there, okay, and even just hold my finger and then eyeball it, and so if that's half a pound, so halfway between is there, and make sure you don't cut your finger. So that is the amount of cheese we're going to need, and I will wrap that up, the rest of that, and grate that up while I get the macaroni started. Alright, so the macaroni is cooking there. I thought you should note here that I've cut the cheese into 2 pieces. There's two cups for the sauce and 1 cup for the top after, so I find it easier to separate it now than try to decide after. I'm going to show you a little trick here when you have to measure both a 1/4 cup of flour and butter, and you don't want to have to measure your you don't want to have to wash the measuring spoon again. So what you do is just measure your flour in a small bowl first. Now usually I would cut the butter, but it's very soft today, so I've just got a spoon here, and oops, this can be rough, obviously. So just get a spoon and pack some of the butter. If you're cooking for company, make sure that you don't get the part with the breadcrumbs in it. Okay? So that's my 1/4 cup that I will start for the sauce. And I'll get that cooking on very low just to get it melted and get the cheese grated. Alright, I just checked on the macaroni, it's doing good. You do want to undercook the macaroni slightly because it's going to be going in the oven after, but I still like it fairly cooked. The butter is melted, just melted on low heat. So now I'm going to make the roux. So you dump all the flour in at the same time, and for the people that saw the mushroom soup recipe, you'll remember this procedure. Now macaroni and cheese, by its very nature, is not low fat, so I'm not going to try to turn it into something it's not. Now I've got the milk heating up in the microwave for a couple of minutes. So the roux is cooked. The butter and flour has just started to get a golden brown. If it's too white, it will taste chalky, but you can't let it go any farther than this or it will burn. So what you do is start adding your milk and whisk it immediately. Turn the heat right down on this. You'll see how that seizes up right away. It will liquefy when you put in more. Put it in about a cup at a time. Try not to spill it on your hot stove. Alright, all the milk is in and I've whisked it thoroughly, so as you can see with a little bit of patience, the lumps are gone. The macaroni is cooked. I'm setting it to drain in the sink. So at this point, to finish the sauce, you will get your seasonings. This again is to taste. Now I'm going to add the cheese. Yeah, try not to stir too fast or your cheese will spray everywhere. Let that sit for a minute while I get the breadcrumbs ready. What you do is you combine 2 tablespoons of butter with half a cup of breadcrumbs and just pop it in the microwave for maybe 30 seconds or so, 30 seconds to a minute, just until the butter melts. So the breadcrumbs have come out of the microwave and I just started stirring them up. You can see just by putting the butter on top it'll sort of go through all of it nearly. And what you want to do is just get a spoon and just work the melted butter through the breadcrumbs. Set it to the side. It will cool off in a minute or two. Our sauce mixture just has been on low heat while I was getting all that ready. Just in that time, you'll see all the cheese is melted and it's gotten into the sauce. So now, there's the drained macaroni. This will go in here. Now what you do is you mix up the sauce mixture with the macaroni. Turn the heat off of that. I always recommend a glove for this if you've got one. If you're really neat, use a ladle. Or be prepared to wipe up after because yes, it does splash. Okay, so there's the 1 cup grated cheese, the remaining. So what you do now is just get this and put this evenly as possible. Get your breadcrumbs, and as always, clean hands. The reason you do need your hands for this is because if you put it on with a spoon, it will clump up and you get huge chunks of breadcrumbs when you just want a nice even distribution. So when this is done, I've got the oven preheated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and I will pop this in. Depending on the kind of pan you're using, if you're using glass or metal, how well your oven retains heat and so on, 20 minutes to half an hour. Check it at 20 minutes, see how it looks, if the sauce is thickened up. But plan for half an hour if you're timing it with your other, like your main course for dinner. It's been half an hour. I just pulled that out of the oven so you can see. The sauce is all bubbly, and what I'll do is I'll just cut into it to make sure that it's achieved the right consistency. So there's the cheese on top. Yeah, okay? Now, if your dinner is still cooking, like the rest of it, like mine is right now, what you can do is turn the oven off and just leave this in so it doesn't cook any longer, but it stays warm. Okay? And there you have it. North American comfort food, one of them, macaroni and cheese. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.